police. Get what you fucking deserve!
Damn!
Hello everyone, Josh from C2000 here, and today we've got another comic book Carnage video for you all. And first of all, before we get on to Three Jokers, there's just something I need to address. Now, how closely have you ladies and gentlemen been paying attention to the title card at the start of this video? Because if you've been paying attention, you will notice this is the first time it's been spelt correctly in 7 months. Well, not 7 months, 7 videos. Although it's probably not far off 7 months. The first time the spelling issue appeared was about, I think, July-ish? June, July. That kind of like May. Kind of earlier this year. Don't know how it happened. Honestly, there was a mistake with the template. And before I upload anything for this video, I'm going to make sure that's spelt correctly. The I was missing out of comic. Now, if you go back and watch any of those 7 videos, you were going to notice it, and it's going to annoy you. It's going to annoy the hell out of you. Trust me, because it annoys the hell out of me. How did I miss that? I have to edit that section every single time to do the images and the effects and the transitions, and I didn't notice it. How did that happen? I really don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the Three Jokers, shall we? That's what you're all here for, really, isn't it? So, this is a 3-part Black Label series that was done by Geoff Johns. It was finished this week. Yeah, I know, we've been talking about a lot about my main man Red Hood, so, you know, we're gonna be talking about issue 50 of Red Hood at some point this week. This is the end of Scott Lobdell's run. And, well, I just want to talk about Three Jokers first, because this is something I've been promising since it first came out. I've been promising to do this since Three Jokers first appeared. And to be honest, I think you guys would have got a much better video if I'd have done it then. Because I was a lot more excited when we had the first issue, because the first issue, honestly, I genuinely feel the first issue of this series is the best issue. And it pulls you in with some really good intrigue. It's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? This is brilliant. Like, because obviously, you know, there's gonna be spoilers for Three Jokers in this video. You've probably already been warned. At the end of the first issue of Three Jokers, one of the Three Jokers gets his head blown off by Red Hood, and this leads into what's gonna happen. How is this going to repercussion? Is it going to cause the team to break up, you know? Like, because this book, it's interesting, because you'd assume with a title like Three Jokers, you'd assume it's about the 3 different Jokers that we now have. And, well, it's not. It's really about Batman, Red Hood, and Batgirl, and how they've dealt with the trauma that they've received from fighting Joker and their respective experiences. So, you know, Red Hood, his part in it is definitely dealing with like what happened to him in Death of the Family and stuff like that. And there's a very interesting segment in the second issue where he's talking about, they ask him, you know, why did you pick the Red Hood moniker? And, you know, it's like one of the Jokers admits, you know, it's always something that's puzzled me. You know, why did you take that identity? And Jason's response, which I actually found quite amusing, was, don't you get it? It's a joke. Like, which, you know, like, quite, very much like a stick his middle finger up at the both of them kind of thing, which very much liked. And also, on the there's something else I need to talk about on the subject to Jason later on. And the second issue talks a lot about Barbara as well, and how she recovered from what happened to her in Killing Joke. And yeah, I know DC like to push her as the main Batgirl these days, but to be honest, I still personally prefer her predecessors. So, you know, I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but I actually like that Alan Moore did that, because, you know, I know it wasn't his intention to turn her into Oracle, but it enabled others to do something really good with the character, and I actually think she was better for it. Like, I've always personally believed Barbara Gordon was a better character as Oracle. Which, you know, I don't hate her as Batgirl, you know, excuse me. I don't hate her as Batgirl. Not read the Batgirl run since the reboot. You know, kind of run with the wrong way. That they kind of walked it back, and not particularly a fan of her either. But you know, it's not for me. So, you know, I look at Batgirl and I'm like, it's not for me. So, you know, when stuff like Three Jokers comes along, and Batgirl is written by someone like Geoff Johns, and, you know, I'm kind of, okay, yeah, this is cool, I like this. But they did a thing with Jason and Batgirl that I'm kind of not sure about. If any of you guys remember Batman Eternal, you will remember that Jason and Barbara had a brief relationship in Batman Eternal. And it kind of brings that up again. They end up kissing in, I think it's issue 2. Yeah, issue 2. Because it's the bit where Jason's kind of injured and, like, he's kind of like, you know, he's kind of talking to her, and, like, she's got all these books on, like, chronic pain and stuff about, and, like, you know, he's kind of like, he's talking to her and he's a bit like, oh, you know, well, I'll take this could be really helpful, actually, if you don't mind. And he's also saying, you know, I always respected you because, you know, you were able to get over what happened to you, and you've always struck me as a really strong individual. And, you know, I kind of like that. I like the fact that the idea that Jason respects Barbara because she was able to recover in a way, like, she recovered and still retained a lot of what makes her her. I mean, Jason lost a lot of what he did. But Jason lost a lot of himself when he became the Red Hood, so, you know, like, he recovered physically, but he didn't recover emotionally. He's still kind of in the pit, so to speak. And it also talks a lot about Batman's trauma with his parents, which, you know, like, I know it seems to be a running gag at this point that, you know, kind of count the amount of times this gets brought up, but Joe Chill is in issue 2 and issue 3, and he plays a role in it. Now, here's the thing, there's a lot of people online that have been disappointed, with the Three Jokers, and I can understand why, because it promised a answer to this big question, you know, it promised to answer who is the Joker, and, well, here's the problem with this, you got to think, right? Joker's appeal as a character is that nobody knows who he is, and Joker's whole appeal as a character is that he's mysterious. So if DC kind of come out and say, like, oh, this is who the Joker is, this is what he was called before he was the Joker, you know, it kind of kills the appeal. So, you know, I understand why at the end of the book, you know, it kind of says, oh, it's not who he is that matters, you know, like, you know, I've known who he is, but, you know, if it came out, it would cause more damage than good, you know, like, and I kind of like the addition of the family from The Killing Joke, you know, I like the way this book uses stuff from Alan Moore's Killing Joke. My original video I did on Killing Joke, it was one of the earliest comic book Carnage videos I ever did, and I absolutely hate that video. Yeah, because I talked a lot about how Killing Joke uses the whole shock value thing with Barbara Gordon, and I kind of got way too fixated on that, and, you know, like the Killing Joke's alright. I wouldn't say it's, like, it's not Alan Moore's best work. I've read other Alan Moore books after Killing Joke and before Killing Joke, and I don't think it's Alan Moore's best work. I mean, it's not bad, but, you know, it's not on the same level as something like V for Vendetta, Watchmen. You know, it's still good though, still enjoyable read. I would like to get my hands on one of the versions without the muted colours, simply just to see the original art style. But yeah, I do like the way Geoff Johns uses elements from Death in the Family and Killing Joke in this book, and I know there's the whole, oh, it doesn't answer the question thing, it fails to deliver, but it's like, let's be honest, most people probably knew DC weren't going to answer the question of who the Joker is it kind of destroys the point. And you know, that's the thing, you know, like it Black Label stuff is just consistently good. I mean, this isn't a bad book. I mean, it does some things I'm not a fan of, like the whole Bob. It obsesses way too much on the whole Barbara and Jason thing. Like, he literally leaves a note saying, "I will hang up the hood if you give me one chance." Like, and I'm just kind of sat there thinking, Jason would never say that to anybody. He's like Batman, he's like Rorschach, he's like Frank Castle. He's one of these kinds of people that doesn't see what, you know, he doesn't see what's wrong with him. And, like, you know, this Batman's very similar as well. He doesn't see what is wrong with him, you know, like, he just sees the mission, as Batman would put it. And I also think, you know, that was something that was covered quite well in Death of the Family as well, the animated thing I reviewed the other day. I meant to record this sooner after that. I'm sorry. Got a little bit lazy one of the weekend days. I'll get this out as soon as I can, and I'll be moving on to other stuff. Because there's several comics I want to talk about this week, actually. So, you know, might also see if I can do some other stuff. But, you know, so we come to my buy, rent, or, well, we come to my buy, borrow from a friend, or don't touch rating, and to be honest, I've got to say buy, even if it's just for the gorgeous artwork. It's not a bad book at all, it's really nice, and yeah, don't go into this book expecting another Killing Joke, or, you know, one of the greats. It's a good read, and it's enjoyable, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily, like, the next greatest thing, you know, it's a fun read, which, you know, to be honest, it's all I ask. All I ask is to be entertained. So, you know, that's my opinion on Three Jokers. I know it's probably very different to what other people have, and, you know, but that's the nature of opinions, isn't it? It's different from everybody's opinion is different from everyone else's, and that's what's fun about sharing opinions on comic books on the internet. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.